one Lord of the Rings. Well, actually, I got a whole bunch of them here, so there's more than one. What's up, everyone? I am Walter, and I'm the Film Hermit, and today let's talk some film. So I'm a little late getting on the announcement video on this. There's going to be a new 4K release of the Lord of the Rings saga. It's being called the Middle-earth Ultimate Collector's Edition. It's a 31 disc edition, and it's going to have all the films in 4K UHD. This is not the first time these movies have come out in 4K UHD. Actually, I picked them up last Christmas. It was just before Christmas, and I got the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. So I'm going to go more into this set here in a minute, but a lot of fans are very disappointed about this set and this Ultimate Edition, and I think the best way to kind of describe why is kind of go over the history of Lord of the Rings on physical media. Like everyone else, I saw Lord of the Rings in the theater back in 2001 and was blown away. And it's a really cool cinematic event because they came out during the Christmas of every year. So we got the first Fellowship of the Ring in Christmas of 2001, and then 2002 we got The Two Towers, and in 2003 we got Return of the King. And all the films were nominated for Best Picture Oscar, and it was only the third one that actually won. So we're gonna take a quick look at the video releases over the years. So when it first came out, that was back in the day of DVD. So I believe it was around August of 2002 when the first film came out, Fellowship of the Ring, on DVD. And the director, Peter Jackson, treated fans with a extended cut of the film, which I have right here. This DVD came out in November, so just a few months after the first DVD came out. And the nice thing about this set is it has really nice artwork inside. I'm going to do another video that kind of goes more in depth with these collections, but I'm going to go through this quickly here. So one key thing about this set is it had these DVD appendices. So these were extensive special features into the making of the films. They only came with the DVD special editions. So that was the schedule. You get the movie in December, the first movie, and then the following year you got the DVD, and then you got the extended one. And then the following year in 2002, we got 2003, we got The Two Towers on the extended edition. I believe the regular DVD came out August of that year, and then this one came out in November, just before the Return of the King came out in theaters. See here, and then Return of the King came out the following year. We got the DVD, believe March, a little bit around Oscar time, and then towards December we got the extended cut of Return of the King. So for a while that was my collection. I don't have the original DVDs anymore, but I had the original DVDs for the theatrical versions, and then I had these for all the special features, and I had them for the extended cuts. Now, when it comes to my opinion of the extended cuts, I think the extended cuts overall are better films. Normally when I watch The Lord of the Rings, I'll watch the extended cuts, except I've never been crazy about the extended cut of Return of the King. And I'll tell you why. It's the longest of all of them, and I like all the scenes they added, except it's a little bit anticlimactic towards the end. There's a key sequence towards the end where Aragorn has to get the army of the dead. And part of the reason that film works so well is when you watch the theatrical cut, you don't know that he's successful. And then so many events in the story are happening, you forget about him. And then when he shows back up, it was this big climactic battle sequence of him coming with the army of the dead. The extended cut kind of ruins that. It kind of shows too many scenes letting him know that he is successful, letting him know he's coming so you don't forget about him, and I think that kind of ruins the timing of the movie. At least one of the best sequences in the movie. But I know a lot of people love the extended cut, and I understand it because there's a lot of great scenes in the extended cut that I wish I could just cut that one part out, like the Mouth of Sauron towards the end of Return of the King. I just watched these films again on the 4K edition, which is right here. When I got these last year, the light's reflecting on it, I didn't watch them on 4K because I just watched them a few months prior. I tend to watch movies lately with YouTube reactions. It's something the Film Hermits do. It makes you feel not so alone when you watch a movie you've already seen before. So one of my favorite movie reactors on YouTube, I'm not going to say who it is right now, I was watching them, and they watched it last year, and then after they were finished watching them, it was like, oh, surprise, they're coming out in 4K, and I'm like, I had no idea. It was a surprise these movies were coming out. It was like really fast, really quick. And it was a big announcement because everyone's been waiting to get these. And one of the nice things that these coming out in 4K is these movies came out in the early 2000s. So most of the films in the early 2000s, even though they were shot on film, their special effects were rendered in 2K, and they had 2K digital intermediates. Apparently, Weta Digital, Peter Jackson, they went back to the original film elements, scanned them all in 4K, and they upconverted all the visual effects into up to 4K. So when I read that, I was like, I have to see this set. So Warner Brothers basically said that they were not going to have Blu-rays in the set, that they were going to do an Ultimate Edition in 2021 that was going to have Blu-rays and have more bonus features. So when this set came out, it just had the films. But the cool thing about the films is that it had the theatricals in 4K and it had the extended editions. You didn't have to buy it 2 times, because I almost skipped this because there's a lot of editions of Lord of the Rings. They did Blu-rays a few years back. They did Blu-rays of the theatrical edition, which I picked up, knowing full well that they were going to probably do the extended cuts later. And then later they did. They did the extended cuts on Blu-ray, which is a really nice kind of digibox that kind of opens up. It's got like a magnetic little latch right here that opens up, and you got the art, and you kind of pull the Blu-rays out of here. I just saw this at Best Buy today, and it's selling for like $65, and it's not even the same box. It's like a cheaper box for the same Blu-rays, and it's like $65, and I think the 4Ks are like $76. It's overpriced, but that's another story. So the cool thing about the Middle-earth Ultimate Edition is that it does have the Blu-rays in there for people that want the 4Ks and the Blu-rays. And these Blu-rays are remastered from the old ones that they did before. So they're going to be from the new 4K masters, so they're going to look much better. But last year when I was looking at it, I'm like, look, I have all the bonus features already because I have the old Blu-rays. I don't really need to hold out for an Ultimate Edition. Let's just get it now. And I'm gonna do another video on, and I'm gonna unpack the Steelbook, and we'll take a closer look at them, because I was not crazy about the art in the Steelbook. And part of the reason why I wasn't crazy about it, I didn't think the art was really worth it. And I know Warner Brothers always does matte paints anyway. But when I saw this nice box and what they did with it, I couldn't resist, and I ended up picking up. So, but that's a whole nother story. So one thing I want to point out about the Blu-rays that's important is that when this set came out for the extended cuts, I'm going to open one up quickly so you can see it. What they did was they replaced the film. They had the Blu-ray version of the extended cut, and the same DVDs that came in those extended box sets they put in here. So you have all the same bonus features you had before. So you didn't lose out on anything. So that was really great. But when you bought this set here, the 4Ks, you were just going to have the movies, theatrical, extended, but no bonus features. So a lot of people were holding out for this Middle-earth Ultimate Edition because they wanted to get a set that had everything in it. And I'm going to pull up another image of what the set looks like. It has really nice artwork inside. And one thing that I saw that they did was, it does have the Blu-rays, but there's only 31 discs in there. So once you add up all the discs for the 4Ks for both editions of all the films, you don't really have a lot of other discs to go for bonus features. There's one bonus disc in there, and it says right here, to honor the 20th anniversary of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Alamo Draft House reunited Middle-earth's finest for 3 special conversations hosted by Stephen Colbert. Also included is the Festival de Cannes presentation reel. So that seems like that's the only bonus feature that you're going to be getting that we didn't have before. And it looks like those DVD bonus discs are not included. Now, someone made the argument that those features are available digitally, but I think what Warner Brothers isn't understanding is that people that are going to spend $240 for a Middle-earth box set, they're going to want everything on physical media. And I've heard that not even all the bonus features are available in the digital copies. So I read a few comments on Blu-ray.com. People were very upset. And they're mainly upset because they didn't buy the box set like I did last year because they were waiting for this set. And now they feel like, well, wow, I could have had these movies a year ago and I waited for a set that's not even really worth my time and my money. And a lot of people were saying that they had the old DVD sets for the past, but some of them got lost and they were hoping they could just buy one set and just get everything all in one place. But that's not going to be the case. I would think that that would cause these DVD sets to kind of go up in value because the demand would go up. But when I just picked up the DVD editions again because I sold them years ago, but I got them at Goodwill for like really cheap. I think this one was like $2. So I just kind of wanted it for like nostalgia value, and it has a really nice box set. And this one I think I picked up on eBay for like $6. And I've noticed that over the years, most of the ones I've run into, they've aged really well. Like they're supposed to look like old booklets anyway, but the art they put into this packaging is very durable. The only thing I noticed with this third one I got at Goodwill, it has a little bit of a bend here. You can kind of see that in the light. It's kind of hard to see. But other than that, they're in really good condition. The discs are really good condition. I think a lot of the people that probably bought these were probably just average fans of the film. I watched it once and never touched it again. So I'm probably not going to get this set. I don't really see the need. I have all the bonus features from my old sets, and I don't really see the point of buying them again just to have that one Stephen Colbert disc and have the packaging. I do like the packaging, but $240 is way too much money. They are re-releasing the films in a separate Blu-ray set, but only the Lord of the Rings trilogy, not the Hobbit trilogy. I guess because the Hobbit trilogy is still fairly new on Blu-ray, so they didn't see the need of re-releasing those. So if you want, and you didn't want to get the set, you can get this Blu-ray set if you just wanted Blu-rays of the original trilogy. But I don't really see the great need of having Blu-rays if you have a 4K player and you have the capability of playing these discs back. I finally just watched them again this week. They look absolutely amazing. Visual quality was way beyond what the Blu-rays were, and I was very, very impressed by it. I haven't watched The Hobbit yet, and to quickly note on what's going on with The Hobbit came out at the same time, and I wasn't going to buy The Hobbit, and I'll tell you quickly why. When The Hobbit came out, it was a very, very confusing Blu-ray release. They did standard theatrical edition. So this is the first Hobbit film called Unexpected Journey. Sorry for the reflections on the protectors. I'm going to back it up a little bit so it's not so bad. This is the second film, The Desolation of Smaug. And this is the third film here, The Battle of the Five Armies. So these are the 3D editions. So this is back when I was starting to get into 3D, even though I didn't have a 3D display yet. I just kind of wanted to plan ahead when I did, and I'm really glad I did because these look really amazing in 3D. But these basically came out the following year after the theatrical release, and then a few months later, we got the extended editions. So it's kind of a funny thing. These movies have a really big similarity to the Star Wars film franchise, mainly because of the fact that there's 6 films total. They're all made by one filmmaker that did both trilogies, and the first trilogy is held in high regard and the second trilogy is not. People hate the Hobbit films. I'm not one of those people. I think there's a lot of good things about the Hobbit movies, which I'll discuss more when I do a kind of an unpacking of some of the Blu-rays. But a lot of people really hate the films and they can't stop bashing them, and they keep coming up with more reasons why they think they're terrible. I don't like them as much as the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, but I do watch them and I am entertained by them. Here's a look at the extended cuts. So they did the extended cuts, and they did the same thing with the extended cuts where they did 3Ds as well. So this time it was more complicated because not only did you have the theatrical and you had the extended, you had the theatrical and the extended, but you have a choice of 3D or non-3D. So when the first film came out, Unexpected Journey, I didn't get the 3D edition. 3D edition was a lot more, and I really couldn't make the choice of buying it in 3D a second time. But then I ended up winning a prize at work, and I got a copy of the 3D edition, and I got it on Steelbook, which is really weird. They released a Steelbook that only had the 3D edition in there, not the regular Blu-ray, and that was it. Which didn't need the regular Blu-ray because I had that set. So I got this one for free, so I'm like, now I have the 3D edition. And then they did a Steelbook of the second film of the extended edition. They didn't do a Steelbook, I believe, of the theatrical 3D, but I ended up picking it up at Target, which I thought the art was really nice on it. Martin Freeman actually plays the young Bilbo in the Hobbit trilogy, and I think he does like an amazing job. And when people bash the film, they don't really talk about what a great job that he did in the film. But this is just a standard Steelbook size, and the reason I say standard is because the longer not the longer, but the third film I had to import on Steelbook from the UK. And this is a bigger Steelbook because it has all 5 discs in here for the 3D, the Blu-ray, and all the appendices in here too. And then eventually what I had to do is I had to find a 3D version of the second one because I didn't have it, and I ended up throwing it in here and making room for it. So I had tons of copies of The Hobbit. So I was like, I don't care if The Hobbit's in 4K because it's probably going to be a 2K digital intermediate, and I have many copies of it. I prefer it on 3D. I'm not wasting more money to buy Hobbit. But then I read that they did a 4K remaster of The Hobbit as well, which in the early news that we were getting from Warner Brothers, they weren't clear on that. They basically were like, oh yeah, it's coming, it's just a 2K, and I'm like, no, it's not 4K, I'm not getting it. Then I read that not only did they do a 4K remaster, just like they did with The Lord of the Rings with The Hobbit, they actually went back in and they actually redid visual effects, like improved them. Because apparently the production of The Hobbit was a bit rushed back in the time that it came out, and some of the effects were not done to the satisfaction of Peter Jackson, so some things were fixed. So I was like, fine, I'll get The Hobbit. And Best Buy sold out all their Steelbooks, which is kind of amazing. The films that people say they hate, when a Steelbook comes out, everyone goes and buys it. So for months, I was going to Best Buy's website trying to find The Hobbit, and then I finally found it and I ordered it, and I haven't even opened it yet, but I'm probably going to watch it this week and take a look at the visual effects and see what it looks like, because I really do love these movies on 3D. Another note, a lot of people are upset the fact that they didn't put the 3D editions in the Ultimate Edition for the Middle-earth, because it was like, if it's Ultimate, where are the appendices discs? Where are the 3D editions for The Hobbit? Some people were thinking maybe they could just buy this set and maybe sell all their other sets to make up the money for selling that one, and no, you can't. I mean, apparently, in this room, I'm gonna have to have a whole shelf just dedicated to The Lord of the Rings. And I don't even have all the editions that they've released. I mean, each Hobbit film alone had 5 to 6 different editions. It was crazy. A lot of people think that physical media is dying out because of the fact that people just don't care about physical, they prefer streaming, which a lot of that's true, but I think a big part of it is that the studios have made physical media so confusing to the average buyer. It's like you go in a store and you want to buy a movie and there's 6 different copies. Most people aren't going to pick up each copy and read and see which one is for them. They're just going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to buy it. Let's just go get something else. Or they're just going to grab the DVD instead because it's simple. So that's my brief take on the Middle-earth Ultimate Edition. Hopefully some of that information helps you decide if you want to get it. Like I said earlier, I think the image quality of the box set's amazing. I like how there's a picture on both sides of it. I like how it folds open. I like all the they look like slip covers. The slip covers are beautiful. I just don't think it's worth $240. Another note, there was another edition they released last year that was just the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and it had the same regular packaging for the 4Ks, not the Steelbooks inside, but then it had a replica of the One Ring from the film on a chain. And I didn't buy that because I'm like, it's just swag item and it wasn't worth paying the extra amount of money and not getting the Hobbit as well. So I'm like, no thank you, no Steelbooks, no thank you. Amazon's selling that set for $500. So either what's gonna happen is that this new set that's coming out, and it's $240 now, it's either not gonna sell very well and it's going to go down in price, or it could go up in price. I mean, who knows? But if it goes up in price, I really don't care. The studio, to be fair, the studio says there's other bonus features that have not been announced yet. But since this is being labeled as a 31 disc edition, I don't really think a lot of the features that the fans are looking for are going to be there. So hopefully you guys can make your decision on whether the set's going to be good for you. If you can leave some comments about how you feel about the set, I would greatly appreciate that. The few of you that are watching, I want to thank you so much for your support. If you can please like, comment, and subscribe, it greatly helps the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and you all have a great day.